What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Andrew Thompson Interviews YouTube channel. Joining me for the second time is the 200 plus day reigning IWTV World Champion, one of the most talented on the mic and in the ring on the independent scene. This is AC Mack. Welcome back to the channel, man. How are you?
Yo, what up? What up? Thank you again for having me again.
I said I appreciate you taking the time to do this, man. Like I just mentioned, this is your second time on the channel. The last time we talked was, I want to say, September 20. No, it was August 2020, and I put the interview out September 2020.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy. 2 years have already flown by. A lot of good has happened in your career, man. You made a lot of positive plays since September 2020, and you ain't got to be modest about it, man. Am I right or am I right?
You're right. You're right. You are definitely right. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around it because I feel like this year has been like back to back with like accomplishments and things going really, really well. So we still on the move. I love it.
What's up, man? That's what's up. And in all seriousness, though, like seeing you on the biggest stages has been really cool. Like, let's start at January of this year, man. Yourself versus Alex Shelley for the IWTV, Independent Wrestling World Title at the Southeast First Show. I got a sort of the two-part question here for you. So, walk me through like sort of what you were feeling as you got the 3 count. Hearing the big reaction, man. And of course, the post-match celebration that you became the first openly gay male world champion in pro wrestling history, I believe.
What's so funny is that I have like really bad anxiety when it comes to performing.
Yeah.
And that whole week leading up to that match was really rough on me. I had a few attacks. It was hard to keep food down. I found out that I was actually going to win. I found out that if I won, I was going to be the world, first openly gay world champion. It was just a lot, all in 1 week. So once they counted 3, I just remember like burying my face in the mat. I'm crying to myself, and I'm just saying to myself, "It's over, it's over, it's over." Mm-hmm. And I was just telling somebody the other day, like, how ironic is it that I kept saying that? Because oh my God, it was just the beginning. It was just the beginning of something great, but the beginning for sure. I always tell people it's all of it has been overwhelming in the best way possible. This is the type of overwhelm that you want to be. To be able to cut that promo right after the match, everything felt great. Everything just kind of fell into place. I personally think that's the best time for any wrestler to cut a promo right after your match. You're still fired up and zooted from the match itself. You still have that post-match high. It's not cold as some of us say. So I think it's the best time, and the stars were aligned. They gave me a few bullet points to hit during the promo, and the rest was up to me. So I just kind of had some fun with it, put some sugar on it, and then we went from there. My boyfriend was in the ring with me, along with everybody else, and at the time we were dating for a few months. We weren't even official, but we made it official right there in the ring. I kind of asked him, I don't want to say privately because everybody can see, but like
everybody
it was
there.
Yeah, right. It was kind of a whisper, like, hey, like, you ready to do this? We talked about it, but like now is as good a time as any to make it official.
I was gonna say, you want to know what's crazy about what you just said about like the sort of the post-match promo. What I think is real interesting about that is like I do think that is probably the best time if you're gonna give us, especially after a big win like you had. That's probably gonna be the best time to speak to the audience, because that's probably like gonna be the most raw emotion that you're gonna get. Like, I mean, you could do it like the next day, and like you'll have like maybe the next day it'll be like, because you know how like like people always say like when you if you get into it with somebody or something like that, you always think of the best stuff later. like after it's over. Like,
yeah.
So like if you probably would have cut the promo the next day, you probably would have had time to like format stuff a little better. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to this point, and then I'll go to this point. But like I think just because you were still in the moment of it, it probably came off so much better, opposed to if you would have done it like the following day or the day after or something like that.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. It's raw. It's like you said, you're still in character. You're still on the high from the match.
Yeah.
Everything just kind of comes together right then and there. So I definitely recommend, if you're a wrestler listening to this, if you need to cut a promo, ask the promoter if you can do it right after your match live. It's so much better.
There you go. There you go. And you wanna know what? Because I remember I had watched that match. I would say like a few days after. Because I remember I saw it on Twitter. Twitter was going crazy after when she won the belt. But like I had went and watched the match a couple of days later. And man, I had a feeling that because I didn't see like the opening parts of it and stuff like that. I just saw the finish of it. But like I'm talking about like
Yeah.
right after it happens is what I mean. But I had a feeling Alex Shelley wasn't going to get cheered over you, especially considering like the show was at your home base. But like I knew I had a feeling that he was going to get booed. Like once I like saw like the scene that was said and stuff like that. But I wasn't expecting like that level of like
Same.
one-sidedness. Like there was like no Alex Shelley people in there. Like dude was like public enemy number one. And then when you came through the curtain, everybody was going crazy. But like the thing is like I said, I expected you to get that. Like I expected you to be like the home base person. But I wasn't expecting them to be like anti Alex Shelley. Like they was like, no, he cannot leave. But like I think that's one of those scenarios like that you just could only hope that happens, and one that every wrestler one day hopes to have like on their accolades or moments in their respective careers. Like you can't even really anticipate something like that. Like the crowd just played their part and everything happened, everything played out in the best way possible.
Yeah, exactly. There were so many things going through my head and being nervous and everything that I didn't even think about how divided or how one-sided the crowd would be. I didn't think about that at all. But when his music hit and he's walking out there, and you're right, they booed the shit out of him. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. I didn't think about that. And then I did my intro, and then he cut a promo on the fly. Like we didn't talk about that at all. He just like leaned into it more. Yeah. That's the professional that he is. And he was like, oh, okay, if this is the story and this is what we're going with, then bet. This is how it's going to go, And yeah. I just thought that was even cooler. He made it that much better.
I could tell Alex Shelley like he was like secretly loving it a little bit, because it was a really good dynamic, man. And like I like you said, he really leaned into it in the crowd. They was so pro AC Mack, like it was ridiculous. Yeah. Like the clear divide between like the crowd between you and Alex Shelley. That made it that type of environment only enhances the match in itself. Like when you got when you got two people in there on top of them just being really talented in the ring, dude, when you got the crowd that like makes that type of environment and they set that type of setting, like that takes the match to an entirely different level than it would be opposed to like you and Shelley being in front of a crowd that was just like, oh yeah, these two are really good in the ring and we're enjoying it, right. clap. But like they were like very very into it like the whole way through from start to finish.
Yeah, and I prefer it that way because usually it's like story driven,
Yeah.
When people really, really care, that's how they react. And I don't know, it's just you feed off of that. It's like you said, it's a different kind of environment when their people are calm and they know they're good, and we'll just kind of clap a little bit. But like when they're rabid like that, when they really, really want to see some shit go down, and they're active the entire time, like that's special. Like that's why we do this. That's when we were children and we kind of made that decision. Oh, right. This is cool. I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like that's where those moments come from. And I didn't take that into account beforehand. I didn't think about, as crazy as it sounds to hear, I didn't think about how badly the fans wanted this to happen too. I know that sounds crazy, but I was so like worried about what this means and trying to get the match right and never ever working Alex Shelley before, I wanted him to like me and shit like that. Like that's what was going through my mind.
I'm about to say, and then on top of that, you all like we as people, like you always gonna be your biggest critic, always.
Always, right. I still look at that match to this day and think, oh, I could have done this better. Oh, I could have done that better. Overall, I liked it. The moments, overall, I liked everything about it. But if we had to go in and fine tune and clean some things, there are definitely some things I would change. But man, I did not. Once I got out there and I kind of took my time on the entrance to kind of see and survey and kind of see what was going on. And I was like, oh, y'all here. Like, I ain't think about this. Like, y'all here.
Hey man, isn't it crazy that like some of like your personal biggest moments will be the ones that you dissect the most? Like people will be telling you like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and you be like, it was all right. And like people, like multiple people will be telling you how great this was. You'd be like, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I've learned that with wrestling, us as wrestlers, like we're always gonna do that. We're always like almost every wrestler is a perfectionist. So
yeah,
it's weird to say, it's weird to like experience that, but you're not wrong at all. Like everything great that we do, we look at it and we're like, I could have done better. No matter how great it is.
I'm about to say, man, and like this IWTV title reign that you had, like I know it has to be like a rewarding feeling to know that this isn't like some like your title reign isn't just the big moment win that you had. Like there's actual like meat to the bone, if you will. Like thus like I think thus far like you had like 20 successful title defenses since January, which is really, really good. That's a great number. Like title defense, you only 9 months in. I like again, I know it has to be a very rewarding feeling to know that you have had this amount of success, and there is like again that meat to the bone of this title run, and you're not even done yet, and we almost at 2023.
We're almost at 2023. I have to look at the stats again, but I think I'm either the second or third highest most defenses in the belt's history. You're right. There's been so many more moments, outside of the win, so many more opponents that I'm so glad that I've gotten to get in the ring with. So many promotions I've got to defend the belt at, so many regions now that we're taking it to. We had a whole season of uncharted territory that, was kicked off by this reign. And we were able to put the spotlight on so many guys from the Southeast who deserve to be seen on a national scale, So I love that when people look back at this reign, they're gonna think of the Southeast First movement. They're gonna think of storytelling. They're gonna think of promo work.
Yeah,
They're gonna think of the big national Civil War rivalry between the Northeast and the Southeast. So, and I just had a defense in LA. That was the first time taking the belt on the West Coast. So we breaking a lot of barriers, doing a lot of firsts here with this, and I'm very, very proud of that. So proud of that. And like you said, we still going. I still got the belt. It's not over. We just announced more a few days ago. We got Alec Price coming up. We got Hookfoot coming up. We got some big things happening. Man, I'm so excited. Easily the best year of my career so far.
Very, very cool, very cool. And like stand on the IWTV front. Like I know you have filmed the life of like documentary series. Talk about how sort of cool that was, man, and being able to further let people in to know who you are as an individual on top of the inner layers of the professional wrestling character that you have created, and how sort of those two blend and how they differ as well.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. At first it was weird because I don't really vlog. I don't do anything like that. So when they described it to me and said, yeah, during this time, we're going to give you a GoPro. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. And I'm like, I don't have anything to film. Like my life is boring. Like why would it? And so I watched a few others to kind of get an idea of like what to film, what they're looking for. And the guy that does the editing, he made it so easy for us and just kind of laid it out. We kind of go through an interview process, and then he's like, oh, okay, well, if you like doing X, Y, Z, we can get you doing that. And then you can talk to this person and blah, blah, blah. So it was great. It was a lot of fun going to my old high school friends and just kind of talking about like
that's cool.
How I was to them in high school, what wrestling meant to all of us as a whole, going back to the A4 and speaking to Fox and just talking about how it was to train with Theory and David and Al Angels and Lee Johnson, everybody that you see on TV now, and how I was just in that dungeon behind that strip club, just trying to get something together. It was just cool. It was cool to reminisce. It was cool to show, shed light on my family. It was cool to speak on my father and not hold so much anger but just like be able to openly like say, hey, it is what it is. It ain't the best, but this is what it is. So it was a lot of fun. I would love to do it again. Also, we get, I call them royalty checks, like every month, like depending on how many people watch it, IWTV paying your boy. So please keep watching it. I would love to do a part 2. Please, I want to do as many as I can now.
you see that good promotion right there, man. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm just being open and honest. I had no idea. Oh, royalty check. Oh man, this is great. Yes, everybody.
Let's say, man, you talk about you made your LA debut not too long ago for, I think it was for Prestige Wrestling at their Perseverance show. Like that I had saw like the all the way until I want to say like the back end of that show, and I gotta finish the main event.
Ooh, you gotta catch that finish.
I gotta catch the main event. But like that was a really good show from top to bottom, man. So sort of walk me through your debut there, like the match you had with Sonico, and just the overall vibe of your Prestige Wrestling debut and walking in there, of course, as IWTV World Champion.
Right. And so of course I'm nervous, right? So this is a new region, a new promotion, new fans, just new everything for me. I'm stepping into no pun intended, uncharted territory. At least for
look
me.
at that.
Look, I'm even marketing check for these guys. But I pulled up to the venue. It's a dope venue already. Like it's like called the Glass House, and it's like all the walls are just glass. It's dope. It's really cool. So that helped. Meeting Sonico and just kind of meeting the rest of the roster. It was a stacked card. Like I saw all the flyers, but it wasn't until I got in the locker room and saw everybody in person all at once. So I was like, oh shit, like this is a big deal. I love the match with Sonico. It was really easy to put it together. What I want to stress is how supportive the fans were as far as cheering, booing, just reacting in general. They were there the whole time. And like I mentioned before, that makes it easier for us as performers to feed off of them and give them an even better match. We had a lot of fun. Sonico had a bunch of different ideas and we went with it. And I was like, hey, these your people, man. Like, you know what they want better than I would. So let's give it to them. Let me, as the bad guy, take it away. But, us as a whole, give it to them. So it was a lot of fun. And I would definitely go back. Easily. I love LA. It was cool seeing the mountains up close to such a big city. I've never seen that before. Out here in Atlanta, the mountains are like 2 hours away.
and like so to circling back around to your IWTV title win. Like I remember like I think like right after that, probably on social media, I remember you. I mean, not in social media, but in your post-match speech, you had mentioned like beyond wrestling, and you talked about the title stand down south and wanted to spotlight the region more. And I remember Drew Cordero had hopped on Twitter like right after, and he said some things about like feeling like you should be bringing that title up north and stuff like that. How cool was it? I mean, how important was it, for you to have the IWTV title and use it to spotlight the the Southern independent scene, while also branching out, like you just mentioned, to the West Coast with the title and taking it over there and taking it up north as well, but also making it the main point that you do want to highlight the Southern independent wrestling scene?
It was so important to me because I started training in 2016, and everybody down here that has been making moves, it's kind of like in the independent scene, they don't acknowledge it, and it's not seen as equal to what's happening in the Northeast. It's like, oh, what you're doing is cool, but if you want to be seen, if you want to get some exposure, you need to go up north. Not only was that the attitude, but I mean, people were explicitly saying it. And after a while, I kind of resented it. I'm like, why should I have to like bust my ass and screw up my car and spend all this money on flights and take all this time off of PTO for my job every weekend just to go up there and do the same thing I can do down here, if not better. You know what I'm saying? Like we have the talent, we have the promotions.
Yeah.
Why is it that the independent scene is seen as the Northeast? Like that's the premier region that you think of. when you think of independent wrestling. You think of Beyond, you think of these places that are great, that do have great talent, but they're not the only ones. So,
Right.
it became a situation to where the storyline and reality were kind of blurred, to the point where, we had the championship win. I cut the promo. Drew responded. There were
Immediately.
immediately. And there were so many people in the Southeast region, wrestlers and fans, who were up in arms about it. Really, really upset that Drew made those comments, because like I said, I mean, it's a blurred storyline,
Yeah.
It's a storyline, but it is real. It comes from a real place. A lot of us feel like that down here. So once Drew responded, like, I ain't gonna name any names, but I had some people really ready to go. Like, let's get in the car and pull up. Like, what's up? Like, I was like, yo, chill. But that's what it means. That's how real it is, for us.
Yeah.
So for me to make that statement, like, it rejuvenated us once again, and we were able to go in and do something special with uncharted territory. And I made the promise that the belt was like being held hostage, and I'm not defending it anywhere else. And then on July 4th, we had the press conference, and I made the announcement that, we're no longer holding this hostage, because with uncharted territory, we were able to bring that needed exposure that we fought so hard for. So in a way, it was like, okay, we've completed the mission. Now what? So we completed the mission, and I'm like, okay, y'all been talking shit this whole time. Oh, he not a real world champion because he not going nowhere, blah, blah, blah. Okay, bet, let's open this up. Let's send out some contracts. Let's see who accepts. So now I got a defense in LA. Like I mentioned, I had one in Houston. I got one in Indiana coming up. We got one in Jersey. Like, I'm a man of my word. I am a world champion. But we had to get the point across first. That was the whole point.
Right.
So that's why it's been so important. It's like, hey, we've been saying XYZ and nobody's listening. Now I get the belt. Okay, now you have no choice but to listen to me. So, and that's why it was important. I needed to get, I like microphones, and I needed to get the biggest microphone on the indies. That way everybody can hear me.
I say, but when after you had finished up, at the Southeast first show, Drew got on Twitter immediately. That promo did not breathe for 5 minutes before he responded.
I hadn't even left the building, and he was already tweeting. I'm still trying to get through, because it was a live show, so I'm still trying to get through the notifications to everybody else, like, throughout the match. And he already tweeting. I'm like, oh, bruh. They were so mad. I love it, though. I love it that
that's cool.
We were able to do something. Yeah, exactly. I love that we were able to do something so special that it touched real emotions. Like, that's the whole point. That's why we get into this. So I'm glad. I'm very happy with that.
And you talked about, like, sort of blending, like, that reality with the storyline. Like, I think that's probably the coolest aspect of it all, is that the fact that you can incorporate those, like, real feelings while still having this be a part of the overall journey. And, like, and the best thing about it is that you're not even you seemingly aren't even, like, near the end of this journey. It's like it's like just getting started, because, like, I know you had mentioned Alex Price.
Oh yeah, this ain't going nowhere. I don't give listen, I don't care who they name, for the defenses. I don't care how big the name is, how great the wrestler is. The journey, we're not ending this journey. We still on this. We still got way more milestones to hit.
Yeah, and I know you had mentioned Alex Price. I know he called you out, like, around, I want to say June or so, like, I think at a show, and you're going to be defending against him at Wrestling Open. Like, are you excited for that upcoming defense? I'm sure as you are, like, with most of your defenses, but, like, considering this is, like, sort of that blended into that beyond wrestling sort of, like, within that infrastructure, are you sort of excited to get back in the mix of that?
Yeah, I'm 100% excited, because for a few reasons, actually, because he's like the epitome of that region. He's their guy. So it's in a way, it's kind of been like growing to this point. Like we've been building up to this point. If I had it my way, it would have been during uncharted territory, you know, in my home turf on our finale. But it didn't work out that way. So now I have to go up there. Best to believe I'm gonna be careful. Best to believe I'm not, you know, gonna come without tricks up my sleeve just because this is my championship and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to defend it. And on a real tip, like another reason is that outside of myself, this man is the hottest thing on the indies. This man has been ripping it up all year. So it's only right that we come to blows. You know, I hate that it took this long, but it's only right. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to go up in his house and take away the one thing they all want the most. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
And rub it in.
And rub it in. What?
The post-match promo going crazy.
Oh, I'm so excited. I cannot wait. But this is one of those moments that just feels right. It feels like this match was supposed to happen. Like this story was building to this. So I'm excited.
I say, and earlier this year, I know you were part of the Black vs. Matter show up in St. Louis. Catch me up on the. I'm sure the camaraderie at that show, man, and just the good energy that I'm sure was just, you know, within that roster that was there on that specific day and in the building in general, you know, as the day went on.
Yeah, that camaraderie is like an understatement. I actually wasn't originally supposed to be on the show. I was riding with a few other guys. I was on the loop and they knew I was coming and we talked and they added me to the show. But once I got there, right, it's cool. We just vibing. They had catering. We had ACH in the building. Like it was legendary. It was so much fun. And it's hard to explain to people who aren't of color what it means to, you know, be surrounded by yourself in the locker room, be surrounded by yourself. And it's just in the crowd and it just be good vibes.
Bro, it's like it's just like that free flowing feeling. Like I like just being in a large area full of your own people is like I know exactly what you mean. Like you can't like necessarily explain it, but it's like
right. It's hard to explain, but you get to be yourself.
You don't have to
think
yourself,
twice
bro.
about you don't have to think like, oh, what are they gonna think if I do this or if I say it this way? Like, no, we get you. We get you. The match was a lot of fun. I was in a fatal 4-way and it was a lot of fun putting that together and just, man, fun would be the best word to describe that entire experience. I would do it again. God, I would do it again.
That's what's up, man. That's I definitely got to get out to one of the Black Wrestling Matter shows. I know they had. I know they so fun, bro. I know they just had one in Chicago doing All Out weekend. So yeah,
they did, and I wasn't able to make it that whole weekend up in Chicago. I had a lot of weddings that I was doing down here and going to. So gotta support the friends, but yeah, I missed out on all the whole Labor Day week. All out, all of it. Dang
it. So on top of you being the IWTV World Champion, I know you're the second and currently reigning Ohio Wrestling Alliance champion. I believe, and I think you know, in addition to that, I think you IWE Mayhem champion. I'm sure right. I'm sure you're like everywhere these days, like constantly traveling. You know, having to be like, have you really been able to sort of take in everything that you have accomplished this year, or has like things just been on go mode the whole time, and you really haven't had the opportunity to like really sit down and like think about all the success that you have garnered for yourself this year?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I was just telling somebody this the other day. Definitely go mode. Definitely go mode. And it's so funny because like I'm really organized and I keep everything in my calendar and I'm able to like look ahead and say, oh, I'll have like 2 weeks of just downtime to be able to reflect on everything that happened. But sure enough, something come up. And before I know it, it's another milestone I hit, or it's something else that I'm able to celebrate. I always say that it's like surreal, but at some point, I'm just gonna have to own the fact that it's not surreal. Like this is real. This is happening. I haven't been able to reflect. I won the belt, and we immediately went to uncharted territory. We did that. Now I'm coming out and winning other championships. I'm going to different regions. And then the PWI came out. So it's been like back to back.
Congratulations on that,
back.
man. Number 25. Number 25, yes. I believe. That's cool, man. That's what's up.
That's insane. That's insane. When I found out, I didn't believe it. I was like, how?
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I mean, doesn't it feel good to know that, like, you know, that people watching, man, they paying attention.
Yeah, it feels good, and it's so rewarding because the beginning of 2020, just like it was for a lot of us, it was very dark. You know,
a
lot of people were questioning whether they still wanted to do this. A lot of people had, you know, bookings canceled, and a lot of people lost a lot of money.
But that seemed like a lifetime ago. That seemed like forever ago, man. I'm telling you, like, like those early days, 2020, man, when everybody was cooped up in the crib, like, oh my goodness, that feels like another like just time period. Like it like I don't think we'll ever like have another period like that again, at least within our the next whatever 50, 60 some years or 100 years or whatever like that. But that was like a very different time period, and it's honestly
I hope
cool.
not.
Yeah, I hope not. But like it's really it's really cool to know that like we sort of on the I can't even say on the back end of it because we still in the pandemic, but like it's good to know that like we on the opposite end of it now, if that makes sense, and specifically
we're coming down from it.
we coming down from it, and specifically on wrestling, like, you know, things are still like, there's still places that are like still doing, you know, socially distance and stuff like that, which is, you know, that's good too. But like it's good to see, like, you know, packed buildings again and stuff like that. I think that's the plus side to it, and specifically speaking on professional wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. It was looking real bleak for a good minute.
Yeah.
Real bleak. But yeah, you're right. I'm glad everything's back to normal, or at least getting back to normal.
Yeah.
To be able to go into venues and there are actually people in the Yo, it was wild trying to do these tapings, you know, in empty buildings.
Empty arenas. Trying to draw motion. Oh my goodness, man.
I never, ever, ever, ever in my life want to do that again. That was brutal. That was brutal.
one thing I wanted to ask you, like, I know it's probably gonna be like difficult to like sum up, but like talk to me like about what action wrestling has meant to your career.
Ooh, you're right. Yeah, that is gonna be hard to. It's so funny. First of all, action is my home. It has helped me get almost all the exposure that I have right now. Me being in the PWI for the first time a few years ago came from what I was doing at Action. Me making it to the finals the first time and in the SCI tournament came from Action. And that tournament also helped with exposure and getting me out of that region and being able to be seen by so many more eyeballs. Action was responsible for bringing in so many names and having me, you know, work them and show them what I can do. I always would tell people, like, when, you know, back in the old days when Evolve was around, we would travel with Fox to go to those Evolve shows and hopefully get seen. And Gabe used me a few times, but I don't think he was feeling me. I don't really know what was up, but, you know, at some point I was like, all right, this ain't working, so I got to do something else. And luckily through Action, you know, I was able to get my name out there and go a different route. No pettiness or no shade, but just, you know, you have to switch gears.
Right.
And I love when he would bring in big names from Evolve, because it was like, all right, here we go. This is my time to shine. This is, you know, I couldn't make it over there, but I can do it this way and show you that no matter what, I can go. So I love that. I appreciate Matt and Action and the fans there too. 100% for that. I want to say I'm the only one that's been on every single Action show since the beginning.
Damn, for real?
You know, yeah, every single show. And a matter of fact, the very first show of Action, I was the first match, first entrant. So it's like I'm the John Cena there, damn it. You know?
and that actually makes the, I know we mentioned it a couple of times, but like that makes like the title went back in January even that more special because that audience, they seen the whole journey from AC Mack
They've
to
seen the whole journey. You're
the whole
right.
so it's cool that they were able to see you reach sort of your pinnacle as far as this specific time period of your career, and like they were able to see it start and to where you are now. So I think that's all cool, man. Like that's it like I said earlier, man, it's really cool to see you like hit these different stages and like continue to see your way up and getting that recognition, man. So like as we wrap it up, AC, like we sort of taking it back here. I know you trained at WWA 4 and the AI Fox. I don't know if you had the chance to actually see some of the stuff he was doing, but how cool was it for you to see AI Fox sort of have his string of matches in AEW? Like everybody, I know it was on, I think it was on the Dark Elevation shows, but like everybody's been saying for the longest, man, that Fox should be signed to should be signed to somebody's company.
It was God, it's so cool to see. It's so cool to see because this man opened up the school for me and like allowed me to chase my dreams, right? So everything that I've learned, everything that I do, it's a testament to him. I'm indebted to him. So to see somebody that I'm so close with, that I have so much respect for, and that I've seen firsthand how good he is, to get his day and actually go out in front of that many people and for them to see it live is so cool. And it's like you said, it's so long overdue. So long overdue. He should be signed, and they're working on it. Yeah. We got Sean in there, and he's trying to make some things happen, and I hope it does come to fruition because there ain't many people better than Fox. He's able to go out there, and I think people see that style of his and think that that's all he can do, but no, that's not true. He can do so much more, and I think all the students that have come out of his school with different styles and different personas and their different routes, I think that's a testament to how much he knows and how much he can bring to the table. It's so cool to see it. I hope he can get signed, and I hope he can perform to that caliber, for a long time to come, because this is crazy.
Yeah, Fox is definitely that guy, man. But it is AC Mack. I appreciate you definitely taking the time to come do this, man. Please plug all your social medias, your merchandise. I'll be sure to plug everything in the description of this video, so people can contact you and get at you and buy up all your merch, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to keep it consistent. I'm AC Mack everywhere. Either
Smart
AC Dash Mack.
Smart man. Smart man.
Right. I'm either AC Dash Mack or AC _Mack. And this is everywhere. This is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, PSN if you're rocking on the PlayStation, Tumblr if you still got a Tumblr. My merch is on Pro Wrestling Tees / you guessed it, AC _Mack. Brown Butter Wrestling. You can find some more merch there. I'm trying to think of where else. I mean, just any and every kind of social media platform where you can reach out to people. I'm on there, and it's AC Mack. I promise. And the Wikipedia page. I just found out I got a Wikipedia page, so Big I'm baller. AC Mack on there too. This is crazy.
No, man, you heard him. Go support the man. He got a lot of great things going on. This second interview. Just as fun as the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Andrew Thompson and Andrew Thompson Interviews YouTube channel, and I'm signing off with the reigning IWTV World Wrestling Champion, Wrestling World Champion, World Wrestling Champion, whichever way you want to swap it. AC Mack, and we are out. Peace.